Meet Mr. Pain in the Wazoo. This is Martigan, and this is my current project. This is what I get when I start doing a project. I get cat hair. Lots of it. Hey, Martigan. What a baby. Hey, baby. The place on his eye is the place where he was injured as a kitten, and it has never fully healed. It tries to heal, but it never gets fully healed. As a result, he has to have medicine, and I give it to him at night most of the time. He's the softest cat I have ever had. Literally. His fur is softer than any I have ever felt. And he gets it all over everything. Don't you, Mr. Martigan? Hey, Marty. Martigan. I have a cat. I wanted to come and show you the doors to the tower in the back of my bus. This is the one that goes all the way to the top. I like the shaker or Welsh style construction with the uprights connected by a horizontal piece, and then the plate put into the inside of it. The insides are clean. It's ready to go. Yeah. So I want to put some hooks on it, or actually I'm going to put some pulls, but they're going to be kind of made out of some hooks that can be pulled and can be tied together so that stuff cannot fall out while we're driving. We did have stuff get out a little bit as we were driving. This is going to be a drawer with divisions in it. This one is going to have doors on it. And then these two up here, I'm not sure. I know I'm going to put a trim piece here on this, but as far as how I'm going to treat that, I haven't got that completely down yet. So I wanted to share that little bit of effort. Quite a while ago, a couple years ago, I was blessed with a huge stack of recycled cedar, and I have been using it for a while. I love to build with cedar, have for years. And but I'm going to bring you out here and show you. There's some of it that's been cleaned and cut. Here's a piece of oak veneer that has been cut to size for those doors. Here is the wood that I have cut to make the frames off of right here. This is actually going to be a storage building when we get it done. But right now it is my woodworking space. The boards have a finish on them, but it's not a very good finish, and it smells real bad because this was reclaimed from a building that was very smoky and stuff. And so the finish kind of smells bad, and I have to strip all of it down. Once it's stripped down, it looks like this. Very nice. And it doesn't smell bad anymore. And then I can rip it on the saw into the widths that I need, and then cut it into the lengths I need to make my stuff. And there is my cat. Hello, Martigan. Hello, cat. I have a chop saw in there in the other room. Eventually, my heart is to take the stuff, when we can take all the stuff out of that storage building, which is going to end up over here. We're going to get a little bit larger building, and it will be my workshop. Until I get my wood shop built, I'll be working in the storage building, in the garage, in my studio. I'll just be going back and forth and back and forth. And once I get the workshop built, I'll be able to just do all that work in my woodworking shop, and that will make me very, very happy. Because I love doing small and large projects. One of these days I will go over some of the projects that I have completed and let you see some of my woodworking. For the most part, I do wood right. I use pins instead of screws. Metal and wood have never been friends, and there will always be a breakdown. Wood and wood understand each other better, even if they're different types of wood, and you have more consistency, and so you have a better project. As a whole, I have not been disappointed in the wood right process. It is slower, and it's not as technically advanced. For one thing, you don't get soft closed drawers and things like that. In the first section where I was dealing with the butcher block, somehow I lost a lot of footage. Probably my own error, but there's a lot of footage from the first butcher block that is missing. I didn't take as much footage for the second butcher block, but I decided to go ahead and put the second butcher block, which is this table. The first butcher block was the workstation back here, and I think this is the first time you've seen it with the air conditioner out. I'm testing out the air conditioner, and I have a little bitty baby refrigerator down in this area down in here. A lot of other storage too, but a little baby refrigerator. And so I'm doing some testing. I'm finding out how to use those things real well, and that's really important to knowing that I've got things together for the trip, for the long camp. So there'll be some pieces that are missing in the video. The two parts for the butcher block video were taken about a month apart. The first part was the workstation, and I needed to have it completed for camp, which was the third week of June. It was completed the end of May, the early part of June. The second one was the table, and it was completed the end of June, beginning of July, because we had to have it for our trip to North Carolina to take our grandson home. There is a lot of footage that is missing, but I hope that there's enough that you can get the idea of how I make the butcher blocks. It's a process I enjoy, and I've done several times, and even though I may not do it 100% right, I do it, and I hope you get something out of it that will either inspire you or inform you. or encourage you to do those things that are out there that you might not have thought about doing. I'm cutting these boards to the same thickness so that I can make, that does not look like an oak, so that I can make a butcher block table top. Right now I'm just siding things out and getting them to where they look right and they fit right. I know they're not going to lay perfectly square yet. That will have to be squared up to the best of my ability. And these two are sitting above this end on that side. They'll have a slight cut into them so that they fit down perfectly onto that. Yeah. So that's my fitting process. It's a little bit warm in here. I need to go find my travel fan. All of this is going to be clamped and flattened out a little better. The boards are cut. I'll have to do a little adjusting. Like I said, I've got to cut a real narrow slit out of this so that it fits in there tight, and that'll slide right up on in there. I'm going to have to cut a little bit of a board for over here. There'll be a board that is on the outside of this, and I'll have the same thing happening here. I'll have some narrow slits cut in there so that that board sits like it should. So I'm getting started with the butcher block, and I'm putting a good amount of Elmer's all-purpose. It works really great as a wood glue. It does have a little more acrylic in it than some wood glues. Be nice to say I went with rabbit skin glue and all that kind of stuff, but I really don't. And so I'm just going to tell you, I have used the Elmer's for a long time, and it doesn't come apart. I'm going to put this on here. It lines up with that piece that I carved out there. Comes on there. And I think I'm going to do just 2 pieces the first time out. I have to set my my drill to do these things well. Yeah, I do. So those two pieces are together, and I don't have my clamps in here, and I didn't have those two pieces totally lined up right there. That's important that this end be lined up. If this end isn't lined up, we can get away with it, but if this end isn't lined up, I'm going to end up having to cut it off, and I don't want it to be shorter than it is. I've got to take this in and put the resin on the top of it, but I wanted to check it after I put that other board on. I wanted to check it and make sure that everything fits, and and it does. I've used 2 ounces of resin on this butcher block top. There is my butcher block top for my workstation. Nothing is attached yet, and that looks awfully yellow there because of the sunshine, but here is my awesome workstation with its resin top. I'm quite pleased with how it looks, and I hope I will be quite pleased with how it performs. The boards for this table in my adventure bus are cut. I will probably begin in the morning laminating them together and pinning them. Yeah, I'm excited for this. 36 by 26. It is. This is the butcher block for my main table in my bus. I've had to make it in 2 pieces, and I'll try to show you about putting it together. First thing I had to do is to butter the side that is going to be joining to the butcher block that's there. I'll bring that over. This is a little bit warped, so it'll need some good it'll need some really good time in the clamps cut in to get that side. What I do is I start with the same side each time. This side is smoothed out, whereas this side, and you can't see it, but this side's a little rougher. That way I only have to really clean one side a lot. The other side may need cleaned some, but I did not mark my pins last time. The reason I mark where I pin it is so that I won't drill into the pin. When I don't want to drill into the pin when I drill the holes for the next pins, because that pulls the old pin out, or it can. And well, I just don't want to do that. I just not just pulling them out, but I don't want it to drill in there. Wait a minute. Nope. That's got to come up. This is not down. I'll have to come over here and tighten this. It's just kind of a homemade clamp for the top and bottom, so that yeah, I want it to stay right. Take that back down. Put this on here. Tighten it in. And lift that up. There we go. Most time I just use 3 clamps unless I'm doing a splice. I don't like to do splices, but on this one I pretty much had to do the splicing because I didn't want to use a soft wood. These are all hardwoods. They're different kinds of wood. They're not all the exact same grade of hardwood. The oak is a reclaimed oak, so it's very, very hard. And the poplar is a reclaimed poplar, but it's still not anywhere close to as hard as the oak is. Yeah, that feels right. Now this one, what I do is I do a 4-3 pattern just like I did on the other one. This was a 4, so this one's going to be a 3. I mark my dowels, and then I cut them as I need them. I mark them all the same length as what I'm drilling, and then I cut them as I need them. This is a 3 pin, so I just need 3 pins. Also, sometimes you have to pound the pin in. These pins are going in. Got me a little sliver. These pins are going in pretty fast because they are bamboo pins. The difference mainly, I'm using the bamboo pin with the oak. Oak is a wood that pulls the glue into it really fast, and it swells really fast. So if you have an oak pin and an oak board, a lot of times it's becomes a game to see how fast you can get it pounded in, and you make mistakes and you break pins. So these are snug but not over tight, and they are bamboo pins in an oak butcher block. Yeah, I've got a few places here that have some little hairy places on them. There we go, got that one. And I have 7 more boards, and then I will be done. My board at this time is, it's about 2/3, not quite 2/3, let's see. Yeah, it is a good 2/3. What this half is going to be. Yeah, it's almost a foot. And it's got these 7 left to go, which are just a little over, about 5.5 inches. So it's going to be about 17 inches when I'm done. And the first side that I made, set this down. The first side that I made is a little over 18 inches. I need my table to be 35 inches, and then I'm going to put a couple of little aprons on it to bring it up to the 36 inches. Thank you for joining me in my world. I hope you'll join me again as I search always creative and sometimes how to be useful.